If you're getting ready to retire, you need to answer one of the most important questions. Will I have enough money to live how I want? We at SDCERA want you to be confident in your retirement planning, so I'm going to explain how to estimate your pension payments. It's all about the 2 E's, eligibility and earnings. When you're eligible to retire depends on your classification and tier. SDCERA has 2 classifications for members. The first is safety, who's someone in a sworn position like a deputy sheriff, probation officer, or district attorney investigator. All other employees fall under the general classification. And your tier is typically based on the date you were hired. Here's a quick look to see what tier you might be in based on when you were hired. Okay, so how does that relate to retirement eligibility? Well, each classification and tier have different requirements for when you can retire. For tiers 1, A, and B, it's based on age, service credit, and eligibility. For tiers C and D, it's based on age and service credit. Just so you know, eligibility is a time between becoming an SDCERA member and today. Service credit is the time worked as an active employee. Here's an example to explain the difference. This is SDCERA. Sarah started working at the county at age 45 in 2010. She worked for 10 years and then quit in 2020 to do something else. Because Sarah worked as an active employee from 2010 to 2020, she has 10 years of service credit. 2 more years have gone by and it's 2022. Sarah now has 12 years of eligibility because that's how much time has passed since she first became an SDCERA member. Here are the qualifications you need to meet to become eligible to retire. General Tier 1 and A members need to be at least 50 years old and have 5 years of service credit and 10 years of eligibility. The only difference for General Tier B members is that they have to be at least 55 years old. For General Tiers C and D, the eligibility requirements change. You must be at least 52 with 5 years of service credit. No more messing with this eligibility stuff. Safety Tiers A and B must reach age 50 with 5 years of service credit and 10 years of eligibility. Safety Tiers C and D need 5 years of service credit at age 50. And no matter which classification or tier you're in, you can retire with any amount of service credit at age 70. Now to the second E, earnings. AKA, how much will your pension be? SDCERA uses a simple calculation to determine your monthly retirement payment. It's age factor times service credit times final average monthly compensation. This formula is the same for everyone. Let's break down each of those elements. Age factor is based on your age at retirement. Each age is assigned a percentage. Just know that the percentage goes up the longer you wait to retire. This chart represents the earliest age factor and maximum age factor for each classification and tier. If you really want to dig into the numbers, you can find a full list of age factors at sdcera.org. Back to our equation here. Service credit we talked about. It's generally the number of years you've worked for your employer. So if you worked for the county from 2011 to 2021, you'll likely have 10 years of service credit. However, you don't earn service credit while you take unpaid leaves of absence. And then final average monthly compensation. It's a mouthful, so we're going to call it FAC. SDCERA tracks your pay over your entire career with your current employer. So when you're ready to retire, we'll look for the period in which you made the most money. That time period is a year for Tier 1 and A members, and it's 3 years for Tier B, C, and D members. We'll calculate your average monthly pay for that time. That average is your FAC. The easiest way to roughly calculate your FAC is to take your annual salary and divide it by 12. One of the most common questions we receive is what earnings are included in your FAC. Your base pay is always included, and so are certain types of premium pay, but overtime is not included. If you have specific questions about what's considered in your FAC, contact our Member Service Center. You can also find details on our website under the Active Members tab. One more note on this, state law limits the annual salary on which your pension can be based. Okay, let's dive into an example with SDCERA to see this pension calculation at work. Sarah, who's a Tier B member, is now 57 years old and wants to retire. First question, is she eligible? The answer is yes. Tier B requires her to be at least 55 years old, have 10 years of eligibility, and 5 years of service credit. She's 57, has 12 years of eligibility, and 10 years of service credit. Her age comes with an age factor of 2%. She's worked for 10 years, and her highest average monthly salary is $6,500. So she'll receive $1,276 every month for her pension. You don't actually have to remember this equation. You can use our nifty retirement calculator on our website, SDCERA.org. Try it out for yourself. You can also submit a benefit estimate request to SDCERA for a more official estimate of your pension. That form can be found on our website.